Hello, view dearer. This week's video was delayed because I sound like this. Did you ever hear of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? This script is more of a stream of consciousness loosely tied together by hopes and dreams, and thusly, it never entered polish phase. So I'm saving the other one for next week, and I'm giving you this one as a band-aid. On with this video.
What do you mean by that?
So in this time of controversy, coping theories, and the dying embers of our collective hope, I feel I must do my best to add more to this pile. Because I am genuinely perplexed by the current atmosphere within the Star Citizen community and the deafening silence by CIG. Cloud Imperium Games are obviously aware of the concerns by the community at the lack of the start of the marketing campaign for Squadron 42, alongside the disaster that is 4.8 and 4.8.1. The horrid state that these patches are in sends this signal to me, based on no evidence and only a hunch, that most devs are still working on Squadron and aren't working on Star Citizen. I'd even go so far as to say that I think that at this time, they've pulled devs that usually just work on SC to work on Squadron, to work on bugs and bug fixes and that sort of thing, because I have not personally seen any major explanation as to why these patches are in such a state after nothing absolutely major was launched. It is really concerning that they sell us ships that launch completely broken and put out more ships for sale without any communications as to why the new $600 ship is broken. It took them 2 weeks to respond to the issues facing the Ironclad. But please do take note, dear viewer, that once they found out that the player base had found out the rough player count in Star Citizen, about 20 to 30,000, which is very healthy by the way, they removed our ability to see player counts almost instantly. And do please note that they will happily post a new video showcasing the Raylan and all the cool new stuff that they've added to it. But they won't tell us what's going on with Squadron, nor what is going on with Star Citizen. Where are the SELs? Where are the Inside Star Citizens explaining the sorry state of this patch? Never mind all that, dear viewer, please buy new ship. But back to the player counts. When it's outright bad for CIG, I'd argue it's not, the numbers were, as said, pretty great, they will strike it down immediately. But if they still make money from it, they won't do anything about it. That really does look bad, Chris. You shouldn't do that. Bad boy. And with CIG's communication on Squadron, they clearly want their cake and they want to eat it as well, by in essence using weasel words to give us a false sense of confidence, whilst at the same time giving themselves an out. We intend. We must keep GTA 6 in mind. Imminent release, in game development terms, whatever that means. So the last time they spoke to fans directly, Jared said they intend, and Sandy in the Variety article said imminently, and Chris in the February article said sort of, maybe, maybe not. They have their wires and communication crossed, albeit on a surface level it appears quite clear. It is, however, far from it. 3 of the top people have said different things about the launch of the game, and none of them can be trusted on it because of their track record. This lack of clarity does lead quite rightly to questions such as, was Squadron 42 really feature complete in 2023? Probably at that point, but like Honest Conference suggested,
the game is now feature complete, but it's only feature complete until I decide to add more features.
I believe at the time this was true, but Chris, being the way that he is, likely decided to add, change, or scrap a feature to rebuild it like they have many times before. In 2025, Jared stated, "We will do everything possible to make it," and got himself into that whole kerfuffle. So CIG, like I've said many times before, wished to appear firm and confident, but the lackluster communication and fear on their part is showing through the cracks. The website says launches in 2026, the latest quarterly report says launches 2026. But why do I feel in my old bones that something isn't quite right? I suppose it all comes down to how many community members like myself have been melting down on the Spectrum, Reddit and Discords all across the verse, trying to make any sense of what CIG actually intends. So officially speaking, it isn't SQUADOVER for us. But why do they make me feel like it in reality actually is? In spite of anything that they say, I think many of us have the gut feeling that something isn't quite right. And this is further aggravated by the choice of no CitizenCon this year. One of the copes is of course a short little Squadron Con during the summer that'd likely be a form of CitizenCon Direct, but more on that soon.
Hello there.
The last copes that I've seen the community speak of are three particular standouts. Alien Week, just around the corner on the 17th of June. Gamescom in August, which could be the launch of a marketing campaign. Some random, undefined day in the middle of summer to shadow drop the game or to announce a release date. Kind of like a mini CitizenCon Direct, a CitizenCon Director, if you will, or a CitizenCon Concise, if you will. But in this case, it would be a Squadron Con. Concise. I would also like to offer you another cope if you desire such in these trying times. The final couple of copes that I have been able to manifest are the quarterly reports. We have one coming towards the end of June, which could coincide with Alien Week, or the one in September that could herald the launch of Squadron 42. Did you ever hear? One of these could become a little Squadron Con, like I mentioned earlier, in the vein or in the same-ish vein that people got to see during last year's CitizenCon Direct, where Chris Roberts goes on camera and delivers some good news personally. And Squadron 42 will be released right now, in 2 years.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
I've never believed that Squadron 42 would be anything more than the sum of its parts. Basically a space opera like Star Wars mixed with some of the immersion and fidelity of Wing Commander bound together with an FPS aspect to potentially create one of the greatest space games ever. I've never believed that it'll revolutionize the genre or become a super hit and become mainstream. Popular and appreciated, yes, within the space sim, space opera niche, but no GTA player stan will want to play this, I can tell you that rather confidently. I guess in a way it would be a bit more fair to compare Squadron 42 with Half-Life 3, but alas, I think this is a fool's folly. Also, comparing Half-Life 3 to Squadron 42 is superficially accurate, but short-sighted, as Half-Life clearly has the leg up on cultural relevance and innovation, alongside the highly trusted Valve behind it. CIG does not possess this reputation because of their previous behavior. I have no idea why I'm suddenly talking like this. Rah. But back to a point that I came to realize as I was writing this, that Chris Roberts did state that he wanted Squadron 42 to become this generation's Wing Commander. And what was Wing Commander during its time? It helped to sell PCs with its high fidelity, gameplay, graphics, story, and the characters which you had an effect on. Chris Roberts is also a self-admitted fan of Mass Effect that introduced heavy player consequences for our choices and our actions. They've also said that most, if not all, the crew on the UEE Stanton, the first ship we serve on, all have stories and arcs that we can take part in. So it could mean that Squadron has the potential of becoming a very special and amazing game. But now, as PC prices are as high as they are and GTA 6 looming on the horizon, where can we look for salvation? Honestly, we can only look at CIG and demand that they give us the answers that we seek as to what the actual plan is. Funnily enough, I just saw on Reddit that someone dug up the old pledge that CIG gave to the community where they promised the following. We, the developer, intend to treat you with the same respect we would give a publisher. Chris Roberts famously despises publishers, so this is pretty damn hilarious. They went out and said that after all that Chris had said about publishers. Your voice will be heard and represented in our development docs and our feature wish list. Do you feel heard? Do you feel seen and respected by CIG?
Don't you feel silly? Don't you feel stupid? Don't you feel a little ashamed?
Because I don't. Notice me, Chris Roberts, notice me. And most brutally, in a bit of a paraphrase, you have let us focus on quality free of the pressure to deliver by a certain financial quarter to put fun ahead of shareholder profits. It was all so innocent, but this is likely to be proven false by avoiding GTA 6's release and is merely wishful thinking. 2026 should be the year of triumph for Chris Roberts. He finally did the thing. Even though incredibly and unforgivably late, he did accomplish one of the things that he set out to do. Most of us that love the game, I believe, wish to feel that giddiness, excitement, and vindication that we didn't all wait for something in vain. And I really wish for this fucking company to succeed. I really want them to show everything they've worked on, and that day cannot come soon enough. But if you, dear viewer, were to ask me right now with a gun to my head and you asked me, Herring, is it really SQUADOVER? I'd look you in the eye and say, I held the line. We're all fucked. As always, thank you all very much for watching this hastily written masterpiece. Whereas I could get the other video out, I could not resist the urge to make a video. My voice isn't all there yet, as you have heard, so I will take these next few days to rest. Money me, join the Discord, subscribe, like the video, share, blah blah blah. The member list is still needing the rework that I am not able to conduct yet because my voice sounds like this. I just want it to be easier to modify and a bit shorter and to the point. It's being iterated upon, I swear. Gamescom in August, which could be some undefined day in the middle of summer to shadow drop the game or to announce a release date.